bad karma.
There
As
you go.
much as
Okay.
I believe in karma,
Okay.
I believe that's bad. I think if you intentionally do something that someone who's a good person
was a fraud in terms of boxing. But worse than that, after all his hype about what he was going to do,
Confidence has always been part of combat sports. Fighters need it to survive training camps, to walk toward danger, to believe they belong in a space where pain is guaranteed. But there is a line that has existed since the earliest prize fights, long before television cameras and social media microphones ever existed. Confidence earns respect. Disrespect collects debt. And the ring, the cage, the canvas does not forget. It waits patiently. Then it collects with interest. Again and again, combat sports history has shown the same brutal lesson. The mouth can move faster than the fists, but it cannot protect you once the bell rings. And when fighters forget that rule, the punishment is often swift, humiliating, and unforgettable. One of the cleanest examples of this,
I don't know what it means. So I don't think that necessarily
came on a massive stage at the World Boxing Super Series in Berlin. At the center of it stood Alexander Usyk, a man whose calm demeanor often disguises the fact that he is one of the most mentally ruthless technicians the sport has ever produced. Across from him was Marco Huck, a hometown fighter fueled by bravado, nationalism, and a belief that intimidation could substitute for preparation. At the face-off, Huck tried to turn the moment into theater. He shoved Usyk. He barked insults. He leaned into the role of the bully, as if this were a street confrontation rather than a world-class boxing match. Cameras caught it all. Fans reacted instantly. Some saw it as confidence. Others recognized it for what it was. Desperation dressed up as dominance. Usyk's response was almost unsettling. He smiled. When fight night arrived, the contrast between talk and reality became painful to watch. Usyk floated across the ring like he had memorized every possible outcome. His footwork erased Huck's angles.
Absolute idiot. There was no reason for, first of all, you go to jail. Why would Netflix, the biggest...
His jab found targets Huck couldn't even see coming. The grin stayed on Usyk's face as if he were solving a puzzle he had already completed in his head. Huck chased, lunged, and swung with frustration, but Usyk was always somewhere else, touching him up from every direction. Round after round, the pressure built. Usyk didn't rush. He didn't need to. He allowed Huck's confidence to rot into exhaustion. By the middle rounds, Huck's face told the story his mouth no longer could. By round 10, the referee stepped in. The bullying, the shoving, the barking all evaporated under clean punches and relentless precision. Usyk walked out undefeated, untouched by the trash talk, having turned disrespect into another line on his resume. That lesson echoed decades earlier in Atlantic City, when a 19-year-old Mike Tyson stepped into the ring against Donnie Long. Before the fight, Long spoke with confidence bordering on delusion. He claimed he could outbox Tyson. He insisted he could punch just as hard, if not harder. He framed the bout as a comeback moment, a chance to announce himself to the world. The fight itself lasted barely longer than the introductions. From the opening bell, Tyson erased the illusion. A short left hook sent Long crashing to the canvas. He got up, brave but shaken, only to be met by another left hook that nearly knocked him through the ropes. One more brutal shot ended it. Doctors rushed into the ring. Long had gone 10 rounds with legitimate heavyweights before, but against Tyson, the plan collapsed instantly. Confidence without respect became a medical concern in under 2 minutes. The same pattern repeats itself across genders, promotions, and rule sets. In one women's bout, tension escalated during a face-to-face when Adriana Vukovic shoved Jamie Driver. Posturing as a warrior with an unbreakable mindset, she spoke about heart, about toughness, about intimidation. Once the fight began, none of that mattered. Driver answered not with words, but with punches. A quick flurry overwhelmed Vukovic, forcing the referee to step in before it turned ugly. The fight was over in seconds. All the aggression from the weigh-in evaporated the moment it met someone who didn't flinch. In another MMA showdown, a fighter arrived acting like the result was already written. Ariana strutted into the cage with exaggerated swagger, taunting as if he were auditioning for a comedy role rather than a serious contest. Across from him stood RJ Ortega, silent, focused, and unmoved. Reality arrived quickly. Ortega dragged him into deep water, chaining submission attempts together until panic replaced confidence. Elbows followed. Short, vicious, unforgiving. The swagger disappeared faster than it arrived. Each strike erased a layer of arrogance until nothing remained but survival instincts. Confidence, once weaponized, became liability. The lesson didn't stop there. At Octagon 42, Tabor Sinanu arrived convinced he could dismantle Sipo instantly. He talked like the fight was a formality. Early success reinforced the illusion. But fights are not won in round one. Sipo weathered the storm, adjusted, and then imposed himself. Punches began landing. Wrestling exchanges shifted momentum. The referee eventually stepped in before the arrogant showboating turned into something far worse. In Los Angeles, verbal fireworks lit up a press conference when Blair Cobbs promised to end Alexis Rocha's career. He mocked. He insulted. He framed the fight as a public execution. Rocha said little. Inside the ring, Rocha remembered everything. A straight left. A right over the top. Another left. Cobbs found himself in trouble early and never fully recovered. By the 8th round, he was dropped. By the 10th, he was overwhelmed and stopped. The mouthpiece fell out. The bravado vanished. The face Cobbs claimed nobody would remember became unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. Sometimes disrespect hides behind age and intimidation. When Vanessa Rico faced Kira Batara, she attempted to leverage experience and age, marching forward with wild shots meant to scare rather than land cleanly. Batara absorbed it calmly, dragged her into grappling exchanges, and dismantled her piece by piece. By round 2, Rico was fighting gravity as much as her opponent. The armbar ended it. Confidence turned into desperation on the mat. In Singapore, Charles Manucci declared himself a champion and dismissed Abdu Kakarov for having too few fights. He spoke as if history itself was on his side. The bell rang, and Kakarov replied with punches. One knockdown, then another. 3 minutes later, the speech was over. Even championship fights are not immune. In Manchester, hometown hero Tony Bellew entered roaring crowds and early success against Usyk. He landed clean shots. He backed the champion up. The arena believed. Usyk stayed calm. He waited. Then in round 8, one perfectly timed left hand dropped Bellew hard. Silence swallowed the building. The earlier confidence melted into inevitability. The division belonged to Usyk, not the noise. In PFL Europe, Valentina Scatizzi attempted intimidation tactics against Dakota Ditchieva, gesturing and taunting before the fight. Inside the cage, Ditchieva dismantled her. Knees, punches, precision. By the end of the first round, Scatizzi's face told the story better than commentary ever could. The doctor stopped it. The crown changed hands. The pattern is relentless because it is fundamental. Combat sports strip away illusion. They do not care about microphones, nicknames, or viral clips. They reward preparation, humility, and respect for danger. Disrespect clouds judgment. It invites recklessness. It convinces fighters they are safer than they are. Time and again, those who talk themselves into believing the fight is already won are shocked by how fast reality arrives. The bell does not care what was said yesterday. The canvas does not care about reputation. The referee does not stop fights to protect egos. Boxing, MMA, and every form of combat sport operate on a simple truth. You can sell confidence. You can project fearlessness. But once the door closes, once the bell rings, only skill, composure, and respect for the craft survive. Everything else gets beaten out of you. That is why these moments stay with fans long after the highlight clips fade. They are not just knockouts or submissions. They are lessons. Public reminders that arrogance is the most fragile defense a fighter can carry. That the loudest voice often belongs to the most vulnerable chin. And that no matter how long it takes, the sport always collects its debt. So the next time a fighter crosses the line between confidence and disrespect, remember this pattern. Remember how often talk turns into silence. And remember that in combat sports, the bill always comes due. Which moment stood out to you the most? Drop your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this long-form breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more deep-dive fight stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss when confidence collides with consequence.
Man, This whole situation with Jake Paul getting badly injured in this fatal car crash down in Dorado, Puerto Rico, it's absolutely shocking. And honestly, the timing couldn't be more surreal. Like, here's a guy who's been relentlessly going after Anthony Joshua, stirring up drama, creating all this chaos and hype, and then boom, this happens. It feels like karma finally decided to show up and collect what's owed, you know? This incident isn't just some random accident. It's serving as this brutal, harsh reminder that your actions really do have consequences, whether you want to believe it or not. While Anthony Joshua stayed completely safe, laser-focused on his training, maintaining that iron discipline that separates real champions from pretenders, Jake Paul is now dealing with the absolute chaos that he basically brought down on himself. In the boxing world, fans everywhere are absolutely stunned as this news spreads like wildfire across social media, with everyone reacting to this dramatic and honestly unbelievable turn of events.
To Joshua, what did we see? We saw a cowardly display from a guy who shouldn't be anywhere near.
Joe Rogan is basically laying out this philosophy, and let's be real, he's not wrong here, that if you consistently act with bad intentions, the way Jake Paul has been operating, life eventually catches up with you. It's like the universe keeps score, and you end up attracting these negative consequences that you can't just hype your way out of. And here we are watching it play out in real time. Paul's accident down in Puerto Rico, it seems like karma finally striking with precision timing. Meanwhile, you've got Anthony Joshua on this completely disciplined path, showing everyone the stark, undeniable difference between someone who respects the sport and their own life and someone who's been running around reckless. Now, Paul is sitting there facing the serious fallout from his own actions, the kind of consequences that no amount of YouTube views or social media followers can protect you from.
Something will happen to you.
Yeah.
But I do think that if you do something evil, you're aware that you do something evil, and I think your existence is poisoned because of that. And I think you will forever run into bad situations because you will be filled with bad thoughts and bad energy, and
You take
will,
on like a psychic cancer.
yeah.
That attracts other.
Yes, I think that's real.
Logan Paul is visibly crying, like genuinely emotional tears, over the shocking news about his brother Jake Paul's accident. And that alone shows you just how serious and life-threatening this situation really is. This isn't some minor fender bender we're talking about here. This moment is highlighting the very real consequences of living recklessly, making careless decisions, and it's contrasting so sharply with the way Anthony Joshua approaches everything, with discipline, careful planning, and genuine respect for his safety and career. Fans across the globe are stunned, watching as Jake Paul faces the brutal fallout from choices that could have been avoided. Jake Paul finally facing the consequences of his own chaos. It seems almost poetic, like something out of a movie script. Karma has finally caught up with him, and honestly, it's hard not to smirk just a little at the irony after all the insane hype he created. All those callouts, all that energy spent trying to chase down Anthony Joshua for a payday fight. Discipline and focus win every single time in this sport. And Paul is now learning these hard, painful lessons the absolute worst way possible, while the entire boxing world watches in complete disbelief.
Anything like that, just use your brain. And MVP, too much to lose, you go to jail. Federal
Johnny Nelson is stepping in here to remind everyone that this situation isn't just about boxing beef or some social media rivalry between fighters. We're talking about actual human lives being at stake here. Jake Paul's accident is serving as this harsh reality check for everyone involved, and it's contrasting so dramatically with Anthony Joshua's disciplined, careful, and genuinely safe approach to both his career and his personal life. This is a serious moment for fans to really step back, take a breath, and realize that reckless behavior outside the ring, the stuff that doesn't make the highlight reels, can have consequences that are far more severe and life-altering than any knockout or social media drama could ever be.
This is serious. This is a serious situation, so you've got to forget that now. This is somebody's son. These are somebody's son. This is somebody's life. These boys have lost their lives. So people need to just put the boxing thing to one side.
So there are all these reports floating around trying to link Jake Paul's accident somehow back to Anthony Joshua. Like they're trying to create this narrative, but the truth is crystal clear when you actually look at the facts. Paul's reckless behavior, his careless decision-making, his need for attention and chaos, it all finally caught up with him in the worst possible way. While the entire world watches this chaos unfold around Jake, with headlines everywhere and social media going absolutely crazy, Joshua's focus and discipline continue to stand out like a beacon. This stark contrast is showing everyone exactly why preparation, responsibility, and making smart decisions, both inside and outside the ring, make all the difference between a true professional and someone who's just playing at being a boxer.
I hear what you're saying. You're probably saying, what the hell has this got to do with Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul? Well, this is where it gets...
Really though, Joe Rogan is stressing and emphasizing just how narrowly, how incredibly close Jake Paul came to escaping a severe or even fatal outcome here, and that's revealing the sheer level of recklessness that put him in this dangerous position in the first place. It's this stark, sobering reminder that poor decisions, careless choices made off the canvas, away from the cameras and the training gyms, can be far more dangerous and life-threatening than anything that could ever happen to you inside a boxing ring with gloves on and a referee watching. Anthony Joshua's disciplined approach to life, his genuine respect for safety, his awareness of consequences, all of this highlights exactly why he consciously avoids these kinds of life-threatening risks that come from living recklessly.
I mean...
That's bonkers. Thank God he didn't have a seatbelt on. I never say that. Thank God he didn't have a fucking seatbelt on, because if he did...
There's no way.
He would be dead.
This entire situation is honestly a perfect, textbook example of karma catching up with Jake Paul in the most dramatic way imaginable. His reckless behavior over the years, his constant attempts to provoke Anthony Joshua with trash talk and callouts, all of it has now backfired spectacularly in a way that nobody could have predicted. While Jake is lying in a hospital bed somewhere, facing the very real consequences of his own actions, dealing with injuries and probably rethinking a lot of life choices, Anthony Joshua remains completely untouchable, maintaining his discipline, staying focused on his craft and his training. This contrast is highlighting something crucial that every boxing fan needs to understand. The sport is not just about having power in the ring, throwing hard punches, or having a big following on social media. It's also fundamentally about responsibility, preparation, discipline, and making smart choices outside of it. Fans watching this unfold can clearly see that hard work, genuine dedication, and real discipline truly separate the legends from the pretenders in this sport.
Coming back from that, the people who like dissipate their teeth through drug usage, you don't get like...
Jake Paul's absolute obsession with getting revenge on Anthony Joshua, with proving something to the boxing world, has led him straight into serious trouble. And now karma has delivered this harsh, brutal reminder that you can't fake discipline and expect to get away with it forever. While Paul is recovering in a hospital bed somewhere, probably reflecting on all his choices and wondering how things went so wrong, Joshua's steady, unwavering focus on boxing excellence and maintaining discipline continues to pay off in every way possible. This incident is reinforcing what real boxing fans have known all along, that the reckless antics of YouTubers turned fighters simply cannot match the professionalism, preparation, and genuine respect that true champions bring to the sport. AJ's calm, consistent approach to everything keeps him safe, respected, and at the top of his game, proving once again that talent, paired with responsibility and wisdom, always triumphs over bravado, hype, and social media stunts.
Paul is still standing, taking the right uppercut. Best shot at the moment. Not that much is going to happen. And it almost, oh, there's a left hook. Oh, my goodness! And down goes Paul.
6, 7, 8, 9.
You know, I give Jake Paul credit for stepping in there in the first place, going 6 rounds. All those people that says if this doesn't get past the first round, it's a loss for Anthony Joshua. He did what he was supposed to do, but we also give...
Tommy Fury doesn't hold back whatsoever in calling out Jake Paul's fundamental lack of credibility in the ring, and this accident, It only proves what everyone in the boxing community has suspected all along. Paul's fame, his entire platform, is built on YouTube antics, viral videos, and social media drama, not real boxing skill, not years of dedication in the gym, not genuine fighting ability. Meanwhile, Anthony Joshua's training regimen, his discipline, his genuine fighting ability, and years of experience at the highest level set him apart in ways that can't be faked. Paul's mistakes off the road, this reckless accident, they mirror perfectly his unpreparedness in the ring, while AJ's laser focus and hard-earned experience show exactly why true boxers earn respect through consistent action, dedication, and results, not through social media stunts, trash talk, or chasing clout at dangerous costs to their own safety and careers. Fans can clearly see the massive difference between a real, legitimate fighter who's earned his place and someone who's just chasing fame.
You are a YouTuber. You ain't a boxer, mate. This guy never took a punch. He's never took one serious punch. Here's what he's took of Anderson Silva. And he's done this. What is that?
Logan Paul's own account of Jake Paul literally begging in the ring during tough moments highlights just how genuinely unprepared and dangerously overconfident Jake truly is when he steps into that squared circle with real fighters. While Paul's antics continue to grab headlines and generate clicks across social media platforms, Anthony Joshua's unwavering focus on discipline, skill development, and genuine boxing craft continues to set him apart from everyone else in the heavyweight division. This undeniable contrast emphasizes that no amount of bravado, no amount of social media fame or YouTube subscribers can possibly replace genuine boxing talent, years of preparation and real experience at the highest level, and that overconfidence paired with reckless behavior can lead to embarrassing and genuinely dangerous consequences both inside the ring during fights and outside the ring in everyday life.
When Anthony Joshua would lean on Jake, he would go to his knee. Most people thought, oh, Jake's trying to take him down. I saw this in sparring and I asked him, I was like, why do you keep going to your knee when the big guy is above you and leans on you? He said, they're so heavy. Me trying to hold them up wastes so much energy. If I'm under them and they start leaning on me, I'm just going to drop to my knee. Because why would I waste energy trying to keep them up for what purpose other than to get exhausted?
Jake Paul's growing reputation as a hater, as someone who tears others down, and frankly, as a loser in the eyes of real boxing fans, keeps catching up with him in the most public ways possible, and now the truth is being exposed for everyone to see clearly. His reckless behavior, his desperate attempts to challenge legitimate boxers like Anthony Joshua, who are operating at a completely different level, have finally backfired in spectacular fashion. AJ's calm, disciplined, professional approach to everything continues to prove exactly why he is a true champion who commands respect across the entire boxing world. Fans everywhere can see with perfect clarity that hype and social media fame are absolutely no substitute for genuine skill, real preparation, years of hard training, and serious responsibility. And Paul's repeated missteps are serving as this harsh, public lesson in the consequences of letting ego and carelessness drive your decisions. John Fury's heartfelt, emotional words remind everyone paying attention just how close Jake Paul actually came to complete disaster, to something that could have ended his career or worse, while Anthony Joshua remains safe, protected by his smart choices, and focused on what actually matters. This incident is reinforcing everything about AJ's disciplined lifestyle, his commitment to preparation, and the immense value of making smart decisions every single day. While Paul recovers from this accident, dealing with injuries and probably replaying everything in his mind, Joshua's fans worldwide are being reminded exactly why real champions genuinely respect their sport, respect their own safety, and understand the bigger picture. It's a striking, powerful lesson in responsibility that everyone can learn from, showing that fame and bravado, no matter how loud or flashy, cannot protect you from the very real dangers that reckless actions inevitably bring into your life.
God bless you, AJ. You're one lucky lad. God bless you, my lad. Glad you're alive again. Shocked me, it has. Terrible. Anyway, good luck, everybody, and try and enjoy the new year as much as you can.
Eddie Hearn's genuine concern and worry highlights just how serious Jake Paul's accident truly was, reminding everyone in the boxing community that reckless actions off the canvas, away from the controlled environment of the ring, can have life-changing, permanent consequences that no amount of money or fame can undo. While Paul is essentially relying on pure luck to avoid major career-ending injuries from his careless decisions, Anthony Joshua's disciplined approach to life, his focus on preparation, training, and making smart choices, shows the stark, massive difference between a professional boxer who takes everything seriously and a social media star who's playing at being a fighter. AJ's commitment to safety, to proper training protocols, and to personal responsibility has kept him completely out of harm's way throughout his entire career, proving that skill alone is absolutely not enough if you lack wisdom, maturity, and genuine respect for life. This accident serves as this wake-up call for Paul and a sobering reminder to everyone watching that champions earn their success both inside and outside the ring through consistent, smart decisions. Fans can clearly see the danger of overconfidence, of thinking you're invincible, and the immense value of living a disciplined, thoughtful life.
But again, I don't know, so I don't want to say that, but I'm hoping that some of the news we're hearing that he, it doesn't look like he has any major injuries is true. And that would be fantastic, and obviously be a very lucky boy.
Chase Demmer's message underscores the unpredictability of life and how quickly situations can change in the blink of an eye, a reality that Jake Paul experienced firsthand in the most brutal way possible. While Paul is facing serious consequences from making reckless choices, from living without thinking about the risks, Anthony Joshua continues to embody and demonstrate the importance of focus, discipline, and genuine respect for the sport and for life itself. AJ's ability to stay on top of the heavyweight division while consistently avoiding unnecessary risks demonstrates exactly why he is a true role model for boxing fans around the world. This contrast highlights the enormous gap between hype-driven personalities who are all about show and real champions who genuinely understand the stakes involved. Fans witnessing this can clearly see that preparation, awareness, and responsible behavior are just as crucial as natural talent or physical ability. And AJ's disciplined approach to everything ensures he remains in complete control both in and out of the ring.
More said, I hope and pray that Anthony Joshua is okay. Life happens so fast. 1 minute on top of the world, the next not. Stay safe, boys. Let's finish this year.
Eddie Hearn repeats and emphasizes the hope that Jake Paul escaped without severe, permanent injuries, really stressing the fragility of life outside the ring, where there are no referees to stop things when they go wrong. While Paul's carelessness and lack of awareness have put him in genuine danger, Anthony Joshua's discipline, his structured routine, and his deep respect for safety showcase the hallmark of a true professional who understands what's at stake. AJ's focus on proper training, thorough preparation, and making smart decisions at every turn contrasts sharply with Paul's reckless antics and attention-seeking behavior, proving that talent without wisdom, skill without maturity, can lead to absolute disaster. This incident serves as a powerful reminder to fans everywhere that boxing is about so much more than just throwing punches or having knockout power. It's fundamentally about discipline, self-awareness, and the ability to make choices that protect both your career and your actual life. Anthony Joshua's example shines bright as this model of professionalism and responsibility that everyone should aspire.
But again, I don't know, so I don't want to say that, but I'm hoping that some of the news we're hearing that he, it doesn't look like he has any major injuries is true. And that would be fantastic, and obviously be a very lucky boy.
Anthony Joshua reflects deeply on his personal growth journey and the genuine sacrifices he has made to prioritize boxing excellence and family above everything else. A stark contrast to Jake Paul's reckless behavior and poor decision-making that led directly to his accident. AJ's self-awareness, his mature decision-making, and his ability to think long-term have kept him safe and laser-focused on continued success, showing that true champions manage both their careers and personal lives with responsibility and wisdom. Paul's repeated missteps highlight the serious consequences of ignoring guidance from experienced people, of skipping proper preparation, and of lacking common sense. Fans can see with absolute clarity that true greatness in boxing is built on a foundation of discipline, sacrifice, and a crystal-clear understanding of priorities in life. AJ's story reinforces why he remains respected and untouchable in both the ring and in life, and why luck alone, no matter how much you have, cannot possibly replace wisdom and proper preparation.
I realized that I was working away from home. I was spending time with my friends, and my wife wasn't happy. So I had to kind of look at the decisions I was making, and I had to come back home to boxing, and I had to sacrifice, I had to take a look at my life, make necessary changes to put my love back to.
The Jake Paul car accident in Dorado, Puerto Rico, is this stark, sobering reminder that recklessness off the canvas, making careless decisions in everyday life, can have life-altering consequences that change everything forever. While Paul narrowly escaped serious injury, and honestly, it was closer than many people realize, it reinforces the massive contrast between him and Anthony Joshua, whose disciplined lifestyle, unwavering focus, and meticulous preparation have kept him at the absolute top of the heavyweight scene for years. Fans are now speculating and debating intensely what this means for future matchups and potential fights. With Joshua's impeccable timing, devastating power, and situational awareness, giving him an undeniable edge over a YouTuber-turned-fighter who has repeatedly underestimated the dangers of both boxing and life itself. This incident also raises important questions about responsibility, proper training, and mental readiness, emphasizing that luck cannot replace skill or discipline no matter how many times you roll the dice. For Anthony Joshua, this is a chance to further showcase his professionalism and mental toughness, reminding the entire boxing world why he remains a true champion who commands respect. Fans are eager and excited to see how Joshua leverages this moment, both psychologically and in the ring, as he prepares for future challenges that will define his legacy. Do you think Jake Paul can ever recover from this and step back into the ring against a real heavyweight like AJ? Comment below, share your thoughts, and join the debate on who truly deserves the spotlight in boxing.